Hello and welcome to See You in Brookhaven, the Brookhaven podcast exclusively on Play All Day Extra. Here we talk all things Brookhaven, definitely my favorite Roblox roleplay game. Play All Day has done hundreds and hundreds of roleplay videos. We've been playing it almost as long as it's been a thing, so I feel like I know the game pretty well and there's a lot to talk about. In this episode, I'm going to predict the future of Brookhaven. I'm going on the record with the things I think will come to Brookhaven in 2025. But first, last episode, I told you the things everybody's asking for in Brookhaven. Direct from real players all over the world, in our own Play All Day community, as well as Wolfpack Games Discord and Roblox group. And we did the same thing on a podcast back in 2023. So I was curious to know what things we mentioned back then that actually came to be. What things did we actually end up getting in Brookhaven? We did that podcast episode on July 5th, 2023. And just like this time, I polled viewers and looked on the Wolfpack Games group to see what the most mentioned requests were. So looking at all updates after that, let's see what we got. Okay. One of the things mentioned that happened almost immediately was a search bar for clothes and accessories. 1 month later, on August 4th, 2023, we got that. But as part of the integrated access to the entire Roblox Marketplace catalog. And that was a pretty huge update. I know for us, that feature has been amazing. Just being able to customize characters for role plays, it's taken that to another level. So it does go to show Wolfpack is paying attention to what players want and finding ways to incorporate those things into the game. Okay, here's one that's really specific. I had the idea of making changeable elements for houses. And one thing I specifically mentioned in our podcast was having a changeable backyard. And guess what? We got a house with a changeable backyard just 3 months later in the October 13th update. I also mentioned possibly having changeable rooms in houses. That hasn't happened yet, but we'll keep floating the idea out there and maybe it'll catch on. Maybe we'll get it one day. Just think about it. Every house or most of the houses have the bunk bedrooms and maybe you don't want that. Maybe you want another regular bed or an empty room to prop in your own way. Home gym, art studio, home office. It would be nice to have a little more flexibility with rooms in your house. And that's a legitimately good idea in my opinion. As far as changeable stuff goes, we also talked about wanting more changeable businesses, which did happen. In March of 24, we got the changeable stage and gym at the school. Love those. And in June of 2024, we finally got the vet people have been asking for as part of a changeable business. And really the changeable businesses are one of my favorite things. I kind of like even just seeing which ones are in the game whenever I go into the game. It's like, am I in a Brookhaven world of tanning salons and laundromats and gun stores or Breakfast Republic, art museums, and phone stores? The more changeable options, the better, I say. And actually, speaking of changeable businesses, recently an empty for role play option was added in one of them. And that was something we've mentioned a lot over the years. It's not something I see very much in different groups, but it's an idea I've always loved and rallied for. So I'm happy to see it. I've used it several times myself, and I still think it would be a good thing to have in the mall. Another thing we mentioned, although I think it was just in our little looper segment at the end of the episode, was more exclusive lands for the Land Unlock Game Pass. At that time, when we did that podcast episode, there were just the original 3, Gold Ranch, Lake House, and Eagle View. But less than 2 months later, in the August 25th, 2003 update, we got 2 more. That was very unexpected, but very welcome. I love when the Game Passes add new things, and Land Unlocked has always been one of my favorite passes, so that was a good surprise. And on top of that, we also got some new lots along with the Ocean and the Christmas update, and again in the New Year's update that year. One of them was even an estate. Speaking of which, we also talked back then about getting more estate content. And that happened pretty quickly on September 8th with a new mansion. Then March 29th, 2024, we got the White House estate, then the concert venue in August, which also kind of gave us the water park people had mentioned in that 2023 podcast episode. And then the other thing we asked for that we received over and over again were role play sets. At the time, July 2023, there were only 16 role play sets, or let's say 15 and a half, because the skate shop one hadn't been expanded for Penthouse quite yet. So 15 and a half then, and now there are 28. So 12 have been added since then, plus the upgrade of the skate shop. We started our roleplay set series in September of 2023 with the intention of making a video for each of the 16 roleplay sets that existed at the time. We had it planned, we were going to have it done by the end of 2023. But Wolfpack had other plans because those roleplay sets started coming fast and furious, and they're still going strong. So here it is a year and a half later, and we're still working on roleplay sets. I love it. I never want it to end, honestly. Right now, we're essentially caught up. We have one to do at this point, but we're going to use it for something very specific, so it might be a little bit till we get to it. But I get excited to spawn in on update day and see a new roleplay set on the update menu. My brain immediately starts working on it. So these roleplay sets are keeping us busy in the best way. Bring them on. People really seem to use them and like them. Okay, so that's a good bit of stuff people suggested that did happen since 2023. And it shows that the voices of players are definitely heard, our feedback is heard. So now, moving back to the present, what will we get out of our 2025 What Brookhaven Needs ideas? And if you didn't watch that episode yet, go back and watch it to hear all the things. I'm just going to go through and pick out the things I think are most likely to happen. And these will be my predictions for 2025. At the end of the year, I'll go back and see what I was right and what I was wrong about. By far the hottest topic and most requested thing in Brookhaven is being able to see who places props or being able to keep people from placing props. Since this is in such demand, and like I said, Wolfpack does value the opinions of the players, I think there's a very good chance something will come of it. And my prediction is that in an upcoming update this year, props on lots will only work for the owner of that lot. And hopefully, ideally, for anyone they roommate. That's my official guess. I guess an alternative to that would be adding a button to remove props put down by anyone besides the homeowner. Right now, if you remove props, you remove all props, even your own. But I can see adding a way to just remove other people's props. Of course, I have no idea if these are easy or hard to do from a developer standpoint. But I do have faith in the Wolfpack team coming up with a clever way to address this ongoing issue. So I predict that happening in 2025. Another thing I'm putting on my 2025 Brookhaven bingo card is some sort of new terrain option, either added to the theme pack or in private server controls. Nothing has been added to the theme pack in so long. I feel like putting it there is less likely, but still possible. Though it would definitely renew interest in that Game Pass. But I do see maybe adding options for a destruction theme in particular. That would be hugely popular and a perfect counterbalance to all the upgrades and remodels happening in Brookhaven. So yeah, I think that this is the year for that. I feel like it's a bold and risky prediction, but I'm going with it. And definitely, I'm predicting the mall/entertainment center will be remodeled 100%. I think we'll get at least a couple brand new elements to the mall and a new look to it. And I think it's going to be soon. But here's the real question about that. Will there be a new movie besides First Contact? You know what? You know who's good at making predictions? My magic 8-ball. Hold on. Okay, so I'm going to ask, will the movies have something besides First Contact in 2025? 8-ball says, signs point to yes. How about this? Since Brookhaven has so much changeable stuff, maybe do changeable movies or multiple theaters. And feel free to use any of our movies, by the way, Brookhaven. We're happy to share. I think it's also 100% we'll get updates to the fire station, hair nails, just everything in town. By the end of 2025, I expect it all to be remodeled. But that's my prediction. Love it or hate it, we're in the Brookhaven remodeling era. It's happening. It's probably too obvious to say I think there will be more role play sets. That's probably a given. So maybe I can predict a number, like exactly how many role play sets I think will be added in 2025. I'm going to guess five or six new role play sets will come in 2025. Let's say six, counting the one that was just added in the last update, the changeable abandoned places. So 5 more this year. I think at least one will be an estate or maybe even VIP now that VIP is a thing. In fact, idea. Last episode, I talked about possibly adding an island you can use the airplane to teleport to, like how the subways do. I stand by that. I still want that. But what if there's also a VIP island or similar location to teleport to for the VIP pass owners? And imagine if there was a really awesome VIP roleplay set you could put out there. That is interesting. I'm not putting it as an official prediction, but that's a cool idea. Okay, what else? Vehicles, yes. I think there will be some new vehicles for sure. But what I'm going to specifically predict is a new larger boat, either some kind of cargo ship or cruise ship. I think one, if not both of those. And I guess another good prediction would be, will the water slide come back this year? I'm conflicted about this. I did look back and the water slide was still there in 2023 when the exclusive lands were added. So that probably wasn't a factor in why we didn't get it in 2024. But as far as getting it this year, I don't know. You know what? I'll defer to the Magic 8 Ball again. And I'm just going to go with whatever this thing says. Will the water slide be back in 2025? You may rely on it. I'm going to take that as a yes. So I'm going to put it on my predictions. Yes, the water slide will be back this year. All right. So my official 2025 Brookhaven predictions are improved prop control on owned lots, a new terrain option for destruction in some format, remodeling all the downtown area buildings, 5 more new role play sets in addition to the one we've already gotten this year for a total of 6, a new larger boat, cruise or cargo, and the water slide will be back. Those are my official predictions. Now, I would love to hear your predictions. Don't be shy. Share them in the comments. We'll go back at the end of the year or the first of next year and see how we all did. It'll be fun. So thanks for hanging out with me. Check back soon for the next episode, and I will see you in Brookhaven.